Hey guys, BrickWizard59 here and welcome back to a brand new video. And this is one I've been wanting to do for quite some time. This is a comparison on the LEGO Star Wars AT-ST Walker. Now, I know I've done a video on this in the past where I reviewed the 2007 model and the 2016 model, but now I have all four models of the AT-ST here in front of you to review. Now, this is definitely really cool. Once again, as I said, I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. I was finally able to get the 2001 AT-ST, so here we have this comparison. So basically in this video we're going to be doing a quick mini review of each of the AT-ST walkers and then kind of comparing them based on, their size, appearance, stability, minifigures, and at the end we're going to try and figure out which one is the best value. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here we have all of the AT-ST walkers. We're just going to go from left to right. So starting on the very left, we have set number 7127, the Imperial AT-ST. It came out in the year 2001, has 104 pieces, and one minifigure. And of course, it originally retailed for $9.99. Then we have set number 7657, the AT-ST. That came out in the year 2007, has 239 pieces, one minifigure, and retailed for $20. Then we have the AT-ST from set number 8038, the Battle of Endor. So again, this was not a standalone set, but rather part of a larger one, but I still included it in this list as I wanted to compare all the AT-ST walkers. And then finally, we have set number 75153, the AT-ST Walker, that came out in the year 2016, has 449 pieces, and originally retailed for $40. But anyways, now let's go and get started and take a look at each of the walkers. Alright, so let's quickly start off and just take a quick look at the figures. Now, again, I said in the beginning, one of the big comparisons is based on the minifigures. Now, I will not be doing that for the 2009 one, as that one technically was part of the larger Endor set, so I won't be including the minifigure count for that. But anyways, on the very left, we have the 2001 AT-ST. The minifigure that came out was just a Chewbacca minifigure. Now, he does come in the dark brown, but sadly, when I received this set, I did get a reddish brown version, which is a shame. Easily to get them mixed up, but again, this is the minifigure that comes in that set. Sadly, only one minifigure. Then we have the 2007 AT-ST, and sadly, I cannot find the figure of that set. It is basically a AT-ST walker driver. I'll have an image of him on screen. Again, he's a pretty nice figure, has some great detailing, and sadly also in this 2007 version you only get one figure as well. And then finally we have the 2016 one. In terms of minifigures, of course, you get one AT-ST pilot. He looks pretty good, as you can see here. Has some nice printing on the front and back. You can see the head, nice helmet detailing, and he has a double-sided face. Then we got a just regular rebel soldier here. Pretty nice printing. He does actually have printing on his legs too. It's pretty cool. And he has a nice hat and a blaster. And then finally we have Baze Malbus. Again, a pretty cool figure. A lot of nice detailing. And yes, he does have a double-sided head. So those are the three figures included in that set. But anyways, now let's go ahead and just do a quick little mini review of each walker. Alright, so starting off here, we have the set number 7127, the Imperial AT-ST. Now, we'll start off quickly doing a quick spin around here, so you can kind of get a better look at the entire model. So here's a look at the front. You can see there's some nice slope usage. You can see a bit of the feet here. Here we have a look at the side. You can see there's a small little blaster, the side blaster. It's quite straightforward using one of those megaphone pieces. Here we have a look at the back. You could see once again those two kind of like panel pieces which are printed, so that's really cool. And then the final side, which has kind of your second blaster. which again can spin around, which is pretty cool. And then here, once again, we are back to the front. So quickly taking a look at the front, you have a few slopes here, some in dark gray, some in light gray. And again, it adds a bit of contrast. It's pretty nice. You do have your blaster here. It can move up and down, as you can see. It's made on one of those kind of modified like hinge pieces, which is pretty cool. And then you have a few other studs and a grill piece on the bottom. Again, here's a better look at the guns. This one also does spin 360 degrees. In terms of its legs here, as I'll lift it up, you can see it's pretty straightforward, using some browns and tans. It looks pretty interesting. Here's a look at the bottom. This is a pretty cool piece in the dark brown color. And then you have a couple of these flaps here on the very top. So there's a look at that ATST. In terms of its play features, what you can see is you have these two Technic beams here. So they do is you can move them back and forth, and it kind of looks like the ATST is like walking, or that's supposed to be the walking motion. It definitely looks a lot more like it's dancing. But that's basically the main play feature. And yes, it does have an interior. All you do is open this section up, and this reveals a spot here for Chewbacca to sit. You have a really nice printed piece in there, and you can see a look at the two windows. So that is a pretty straightforward interior, nothing too fancy. And then yes, you do have another really cool printed piece here on the top. So that is the ATST Walker from 2001. Alright, next up we have the ATST Walker from 2007, set number 7657. So once again, let's go ahead and take a quick 360 spin of the model, and then take a look at some of its features. Alright, starting off here, we have a look at the front view. Again, looks really nice with the use of the slopes, and you can see the two twin blasters. Moving along to the side here, again, this also has the two side blasters. This one moves a bit up and down, and then you have this really nice looking slope piece here. And then moving along to the back side here, again, this is actually where I'm sadly missing two pieces, and those are the two circular tiles, but again, those are pretty similar to the ones that were seen in the 2016 ATST. It is actually the exact same piece that was in the Venator class Star Destroyer from 2009. But anyways, the back looks pretty good. You can see some nice detailing, and then this knob, which is for a play feature, which I'll show you in just a second. And then moving along, again to the other side, you can see the second of the two side blasters, and you got some more detailing here on the very sides. And then here we have back a look at the front. Alright, so again, starting off in the front, as I said, you have some really nice slope detailing. As you can see there, you have once again the blaster, which is made using that same kind of like hinge piece. And you see the two blasters once again are lightsabers. And as I said, the sides have some nice detailing with the slope, and then the legs here, which is actually quite unique. This is the only one. This one actually has like fully brick built legs. Now yes, the 2001 ATSD did too, but there's definitely a bit of a more interesting kind of design, having just brick and hinges instead of Technic parts for the legs. And again, it looks pretty good. You have some detailing with some tiles. And then moving along, you can see that knob in the back. Basically what happens when you turn it, the head turns, which I think is a really cool build. Pretty cool, nice little play feature here. And you can kind of see how that works with that turntable piece over there. But lastly, we have the kind of like flaps here, which you can see reveal the windows. Again, the 2001 ATSD did not include that, but again, that's pretty cool. This section here does open up to reveal a very straightforward interior. You have a seat and a little grill piece for a control panel, and a clip for the blaster. So there is a look at the ATSD from 2007. Alright, next off we have set number 8038's ATST Walker. Now this one again, you can see the big difference is the fact that they go from slope bricks to plates, which makes it a lot more accurate. Here's again a look at the front. You can see that really nice kind of sloped look really makes it a lot more accurate. Now moving along to the side, now this one is a bit flimsy, so we got to be very careful when we kind of turn it. But here's a look at the side. You can see a look at the nice blaster here. Some more detailing on the legs. Here we have a look at the back side here. Now basically, here in the back, nothing much. Again, these two parts should have stickers on it. I saw they don't have the stickers. But then you have a knob here for a nice play feature. Then finally, we have the other side. Again, same thing, pretty much identical, except for the fact that now this blaster is actually a flick fire missile, as you can see there. Pretty nice little play feature. And then once again, back to the front. So again, as you saw when I was doing the 360, it's actually really flimsy, and the reason why is actually it's a play feature, but at the same time it's kind of difficult to have it just stand up on its own, as there are no real hinges like in the other two to keep it on a certain position. So I'll just go ahead and show you that right off the bat. Basically, there's a knob, and what you do is when you turn the knob, the legs move back and forth. But the problem is, if you just look, the legs are just dangling. They don't actually have any support at all. They're just they have a Technic axle, but that goes through kind of like a pinhole. So it's like not actually, there's no friction, it's not connected, it's very loosely connected. And again, it's very easy to just have it tip over. So it's definitely a bit more difficult to play with. But anyways, you could see on the front, as I said, on the front you have some nice detailing with the blasters. They finally changed just how the blasters were connected, now using kind of like clip pieces rather than those hinges. You could see the two windows here in the very front, and it's pretty interesting. Instead of using those kind of like these pieces here for the shades, they ended up just using a couple of plates here on the top, so that's really cool. And again, it does sometimes fall apart a bit. Again, the guns do move 360 degrees. And here's a look at the base. Again, it can move back and forth as well. This one, it's a lot nicer because it's a lot more covered up. You can kind of see a look at the gears, which kind of make the spinning motion, which is pretty cool. And then here's a look at the legs. Some nice detailing on it. Again, I apologize. This is definitely a bit more of a difficult model to review because it's a bit flimsy. But again, here we have a look at the back. So that is the ATST. Again, you can open up the top here to reveal the interior. It's basically one seat and a slope piece, which is supposed to represent a control panel. But again, this is a lot smaller of an ATST build. And you can see it does fall apart quite easily. That's kind of the bit of a con of this set. But anyways, there is a look at the ATST from 2009. Alright, and finally we have the ATST from the year 2016. Now this one, let's again do a quick 360. Here's a basic look at the front. You can see a lot nicer in terms of its detailing. This time they actually use plates and slopes in the front, which makes it look a lot nicer. Here's a look at the side. You could see, again, some more detailing. You have a blaster. This one's a bit simpler, but it does move up and down. You can see some of the detailing of the legs with some of the kind of like dome pieces. Here's a look at the back. Again, even though it's the back, it has some really nice detailing. A couple of stickers up here and down here. And then you have a knob, which is again a play feature. Then here on the other side, again, it's pretty much identical except for the fact that this gun is a bit different. I'm going to get back to the front. So let's start off with the front. Again, as I said, you have some slope parts here. They went back to using these parts for the top shades. And then the gun, again, does move up and down. This is definitely a lot very similar to the 2009 one, but they did make it bigger, it made it a lot more stable. And then if you look here, you have those two red parts there. Those are spring-loaded shooters. So you just press down and they fire. So that's pretty cool. Nice little play feature, and it's actually pretty well hidden actually, so pretty cool there. You could see on the top already you have this nice this nice tile piece, which is a sticker. And then yes, you do have stickers on the legs too, which is really cool. Here's a look at the legs. Yes, actually I am missing that tile piece on this side. But again, some really nice detailing. I like they use Technic bricks and the Technic beams. That looks really cool. You can see just some really nice detailing throughout the build. The legs really do look very nice. Now again, here's where the big con is, the fact that the legs move from up here, but that's all. So they can move, up and down. That is how the positioning they have. This section here is not movable, which is a real shame because it's really tough to keep it in a position like this. It just doesn't look natural. So that's kind of the big con of the set, that it just can't move. That's the problem. But again, it can be modified. And then finally, in terms of the interior, the hatch here does open up. You can put a minifigure here, attach him to the clips here. As seen there, that's pretty cool. But this entire section also opens up. You can see there's a section of a seat there, a couple of thermal detonators. You can also put your blasters there. Then a really nice looking control panel. So the interior is very spacious. Again, sadly they don't have seat for 2 minifigures, only one. But still it looks really nice, very spacious. You can probably add another figure inside if he's standing. But anyways, there is a look at the ATST from 2016. Alright, so now we have all the ATs side by side, and we'll do a full comparison of all of them. Starting off the 2001 ATST in terms of its size. The way I measured size rather than inches or centimeters, I just did it in how many bricks tall it was. So the 2001 ATST is 17 bricks tall. The 2007 ATST is 21 bricks tall. The 2009 ATST is 20 Lego bricks tall. And then the 2017 ATST is 27 bricks tall. So it's just a really interesting way the size has increased. Again, the 2009 one was a part of a larger set, so it's a lot smaller. But you can kind of just see just how the size increases, and it just looks really nice. Again, overall, you can also see a look at how the builds just improved over the years. Started using slope bricks, continued using slope bricks, but made it better. Did the first version of using plates, and then they pretty much perfected that using plates in the 2016 model. So it's just really cool to see how these ATSTs have gone through the years, how they've improved, how Lego's kind of designs have improved over the years. But anyways, now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the side views. Alright, so here's a look at the side views. Again, a really nice view here. You could see again how the ATSTs look. This one definitely has kind of the most tilt to it, but overall they look pretty nice. You can kind of see their comparison of their side blasters. It's pretty interesting to see how it went super simple from 3 random bricks to using a lot more detailed, to making it a much more accurate, and finally kind of combining these 2 models to make this side blaster. And then you can also kind of see the main blasters from going to using hinge bricks and lightsaber pieces, continuing to do that, making it a bit longer, going to these kind of modified telescope pieces, to going back to lightsaber pieces. So they kind of combined these 2 models together to make that. So it's really cool. They just combine things from previous models to make the newer models. And also you can see how the legs go from going from just bricks and hinges, making that look a lot nicer, to doing the first version of Technic bricks, to finally combining the 2 to make the new ones. I just really love how they've just combined designs from the previous one into the new build. But anyways, let's take a look at the back side. Alright, so here we have a look at the back side. Once again, as you can see, just a really different look for each one. So again, starting off really simple, moving along, added a bit more detail, still using the bricks. This one, they finally made it a lot more accurate, but still not the best. You can kind of see the gaps between the two slopes. But then finally they kind of made it a lot more better, added bricks, added kind of like more detailing to make it a lot nicer looking in the 2016 model. And then also the play feature, most of them have a knob in the back. And you can kind of see how that also changed from like a really straightforward, obvious tan piece. This one actually also has a tan piece, but I did modify it. So both of these had the tan pieces, then they made it a lot more subtle, made it a lot more hidden, not as obvious to the viewer. So I just really like it. And then again, they use stickers, so that's pretty cool. But there's a look at the back side. Alright, and finally we have the other side. Again, you can see it's identical to the last side except for the fact of the blaster. And again, it's pretty cool to see how the blasters improved from just a microphone piece to using a couple of rounded bricks to using a flick fire missile to going kind of back to something super simple but still more accurate. And then you can kind of see a look at the legs once again, some of the detailing on them. So now let's go ahead and take a look back at the front. Alright, and lastly I thought I'd go ahead and show you the top of the build. You can kind of see how they've improved from going to just sort of straightforward one tile piece on the top, very small, to kind of going with the kind of like dome or the kind of like the modified dish pieces, but still pretty straightforward, not too much detailing. To finally going to a bit more of an accurate design, adding a lot more detailing. And again, if you can see the colors also in terms of these ATSTs, this one has hints of this like sand blue just throughout the build, uses the dark bluish gray and the light bluish gray, which is really cool, adding touches of black. So it's really different in terms of how its colors are. This one also, same thing, using dark bluish gray and light bluish gray. Same thing with this one. This one does have a couple touches of black. And then finally the 2001 ATST using all sorts of colors, dark gray, light gray, brown, tan. So it's actually a bit more of a fun model. But anyways, there we have a look at all the ATSTs side by side. Now let's go ahead and get on to which one of these is the best. Alright, so again here we have all the ATSTs side by side. So which one of these is the best? Well, first off, let's take a look at them in terms of kind of their overall like design and like I guess accuracy. That of course, winning that would be the 2016 model, as that is definitely a lot larger and in that way a bit more accurate also in terms of its overall kind of like details and designs. In terms of stability, once again the 2016 one does win, very very stable. Then probably comes in the 2007 one, then the 2001 model, and finally the 2009 model. As I said, it's very difficult to have it even stand stand upright without falling over. But in terms of play features, I would say definitely the 2009 one wins because it's a really unique play feature, moving the legs like that. Plus the head moves in that, which while it does in all of them, it just looks a lot nicer in the 2009 model. So that does win in terms of playability. Again, in terms of kind of like its overall like look, kind of aesthetics, I guess, I would say it's a tie between the 2007 model and the 2016 model. Again, the 2007 model, it just looks really good using those slopes, even though the 2016 model looks a lot more accurate. I like they use a lot of the tiles as well, not just and make it look a lot accurate while keeping it having a nice design and aesthetics. So again, once again, the 2016 model does win in that category as well. And then finally, we have minifigures. Again, the 2016 model is the only one that includes more than one minifigure. Once again, we're leaving the 2009 model out of this. But out of all of them, that is the only one that includes more than one figure, and the more figures the set has, the better it is. Nowadays, actually, in terms of making this video right now in the end of 2017, the prices for them on second-hand sites like Bricklink and eBay, this one goes for about $12 to $15 used. This one goes for about $25, $30 used. This one, again, is part of the larger set, which is quite rare. The Battle of Endor set goes for at least a couple hundred. online, so it's a lot more difficult to get this model. And then the 2016 model, as of now, it's not been retired, and still you can find it for actually $30 or $32 online. So definitely a pretty good value there. So again, my recommendation definitely would be get the 2016 model. If you want a bit more, if you're making a smaller MOC and you need something smaller that doesn't look too much out of scale, I would say definitely then the 2011 or 9 model. Again, it's going to be really difficult to buy. I'd say piece that together. If you can't do that, then I'd go for the 2007 model. And then the 2001 model just really doesn't have too many uses. I mean, the only reason you'd get it is if you're kind of a collector and kind of want the set, but for the most part, it doesn't have too many uses. But anyways, there you go. So there was a look. Once again, to recap, 2016 model is the one I'd definitely recommend you guys buying. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. Again, this video was a long time in the making, so if you enjoyed it, a thumbs up would be great. And do not forget to subscribe for more videos coming very soon. This is BreakWizard59, and I'll see you all next time.